Welcome to Aging Insights. I'm Melissa Chalker, Program Manager for the New Jersey Foundation for Aging. Aging Insights is produced by the New Jersey Foundation for Aging to provide information and resources to boomers, seniors, and caregivers. Today we thought we would touch on staying vital as we age through recognizing the role of fitness at any age. It has been documented that regardless of when an exercise program is begun, there are still benefits. Of course, staying active and maintaining regular physical activity is important at all stages of life. Today's guests include Margie Bissinger, a physical therapist, and Luci DiPolvre, a very active senior. The New Jersey Foundation for Aging readily sees a strong connection to fitness being a component of healthy aging. In fact, over the years, the Foundation has provided community grant funding to several programs that work with seniors in the community. A few frames are included in the show's opening credits. Some of these programs have included special outreach efforts, some have been with senior housing sites, and some have been linked to post-rehab programs to reduce rehospitalization. Thank you for joining us today, Margie. We're so very glad to have you. I understand that there are many programs available to seniors in their community for exercise and fitness, and that you've been involved in creating and evaluating some of those programs. I'd like to start with the Move Today program. Can you tell us what that is and how it came about?
Oh, sure. The Move Today is an evidence-based exercise program that I actually created in conjunction with the Department of Health and Senior Services of New Jersey. And it started as part of a larger initiative, health initiative, and this was the exercise component. And we piloted it. It was actually from a grant from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. And we piloted it originally in 2 counties, in Bergen County and in Ocean County. And the results were so positive that it became a statewide program.
Great. And can you tell us what level of fitness or perhaps an age group that this might be geared towards?
Sure, there's really not one level of fitness. It was originally designed for older adults in New Jersey, and the reason is the exercises are done in both sitting and standing, and if someone's not able to stand, they can be accommodated in a sitting position. And we also, for the muscle strengthening portion, we use resistance bands, and there's different colors indicating the different level of difficulty of the resistance band. So everyone really can move at their own pace. So we can really gear it to many different levels.
Right. So can you describe perhaps some of the exercises people might expect to participate in at a Move Today program?
Sure. Why don't I go through a typical class?
Sure.
We usually start the class with a little Tai Chi, flexibility, and some warm-up activities. We do posture exercises, and then we work on sitting, we work on breathing, and then we go into the strength training program, which works on, as I said, for those who are able to, we use the resistance bands. Otherwise, the people start without the resistance bands. Right. And then we end with some flexibility exercises, and then another Tai Chi relaxation exercise. So people usually leave feeling pretty good.
Right, yeah, it sounds like there's a great flow of the program for those that are participating. So it sounds also that there's some great thought put into the program itself. So these instructors that teach the class, they go through some type of training program to learn how to instruct? Yes,
exactly. It's a peer-led program.
Okay.
So the peer leaders have 2 full days of training, and then before they're able to, it's a whole training manual, and before they're able to actually lead a class, they work with their local, more experienced peer leaders, so they get experience. And oftentimes they'll pair, always is two peer leaders the minimum to teach a class.
Oh, okay.
So oftentimes they pair up with another more experienced leader the first time they teach it. So there's a lot of people to help them. The peer-led program is really a wonderful part of it because the peer leaders gain so much. They, besides being a role model for others, they really improve their health and fitness. And there's one peer leader in particular I can think of who, when I was doing the training, she came up to me and said, you know, I'm really a little nervous, I'm not in great shape, I have balance issues, I fall every Thanksgiving, and I'm also overweight and have diabetes. Do you think I'll be okay? I said, when she was doing it with 2 other peer leaders, I said, you know what, just don't worry about the exercises that you can't do. The other peer leaders will perform those. A year later, I'd heard she was doing well, but a year later, she was a new person. She had lost a tremendous amount of weight, and she said the first Thanksgiving she hadn't fallen. Her balance improved, her strength improved, and she just felt great. So it was really a win-win situation for everybody.
So do the peer leaders usually go from being a participant in the program to being a peer leader, or anyone can kind of show interest in
Initially,
being a
the peer leaders, in the initial counties were people who were trained in the program. They were the first ones. But then the other people that I trained in the different counties were people who, whether they were therapists, whether they had an exercise background, they were people who had a background. However, that does happen where there's a person in the class, they love the class, and they want to progress to become a peer leader, then they go on for the training. So that's, a lot of the peer leaders do start that way.
Wow, that's very interesting. So in the opening credits, I mentioned that there are programs, specific exercise programs for people who might have conditions such as osteoporosis.
Yes.
I understand another project you've been involved in is the Project Healthy Bones.
Yes.
So could you tell us a little bit about what that program is?
The Project Healthy Bones is a 24-week program, where Move Today is a 12-week program. It's a 24-week program, and it's geared to osteoporosis. It's geared to people who are at risk or who actually have osteoporosis. So it's geared to bone health. And it's an exercise component as well as an educational component. So it's a little bit longer classes. And that's been around since 1997, that program's been around. A long time, and there's over 2,000 participants in the state. And what I found, because I do give talks to the Project Healthy Bones classes, they are so knowledgeable. I really haven't met people more knowledgeable in osteoporosis than the participants in this class.
Wow, that's great. So it's really something that is educating them about their condition as well as showing them how to stay active and despite of their condition.
Exactly. They learn a tremendous amount. And they're great. They're, most of these people have stayed for many years exercising, and it really changes people.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And so is this similar to the Move Today in that the instructors are peers, or who are the instructors
Yes,
in
it's
Healthy
also
Bones?
a peer-led program, and it's similar in that sense. And again, one is more of a generalized exercise program, and one is more of a really based for osteoporosis education. The Move Today program uses the resistance bands, where the Project Healthy Bones, they actually use weights, where they're giving weights with one pellet, like ankle weights, and they can use the one pellet bars. So it's more weight.
About, you said it's a 24-week program. Each course, how long is each session? I mean, how long are they there?
Each session, the Move Today is an hour. The Healthy Bones, I think, is an hour and a half, or for the sessions that they have the educational component also. The exercise is no more than 45 minutes to an hour.
And then they do some instruction about the disease itself.
Exactly.
Interesting. That's
nutrition
wonderful.
they do lifestyle, all the other components.
Right. And so you mentioned a participant in one of the programs was concerned about falling. Can you give us some tips maybe about preventing falls?
Oh, sure. Well, first of all, I always suggest to people that they speak to their doctor and check what medications they're on, because people sometimes don't realize that some of the medication they're on or the interaction with the medication actually can make them dizzy, could make them drowsy, could really affect, it could really make them prone to fall. So that's always the first thing I tell people. Another tip is just exercise. By improving your balance, improving your strength, improving your flexibility, it really does prevent falls. And if someone does have a problem with balance, I suggest they actually see a physical therapist who can really help them individually with that.
To work on those.
And then also in terms of balance, there are things you can do around your home. Clutter is a huge issue. And just to remove loose rugs, slippery surfaces, uneven surfaces, if there are cords or if there's anything on the floor that could obstruct you. Another thing is lighting, that oftentimes people keep their houses dark, so bright lights are good, and night lights. And then what's happening in New Jersey lately, a flashlight. Have good access to a flashlight, just in case there's a blackout, that you're not putting yourself in a dangerous situation. And one last tip is the shoes. People sometimes wear slippers. It's important to wear a good, sturdy shoe that has good traction, that you will not slide in. And I'm not a big believer in heels as well.
Well, those are some very good tips. I understand that in a lot of these programs, something that you're also a big proponent of is correct posture and sitting. Can you tell us a little bit about those things?
Sure. Posture, I think what sort of separates some of these programs from regular exercise classes, there's such an emphasis on posture and also body mechanics, how we do our daily activities, putting the least amount of stress on our bodies. But let's go over bad posture for a minute. The typical posture is this, the slouch posture, which is just so common in our society today. What it does, it rounds out your low back, can hurt your back, it rounds out your shoulders, and puts tremendous amount of force on your neck, causing headaches and causing excessive wear and tear on your back and more force even on your upper back just to hold your neck in this position. So we make a big issue of posture. Some easy things that I brought, just a little tip to show, is we can use a towel roll, and if we put that in our low back, we can help support our low back and stay in a much more balanced posture.
Right.
The other thing, a lot of times, and actually Lucy is sitting with with one of the back supports. The other thing about posture, though, is that people think this is good posture.
Right.
But it's not. If we stay like this, we're using our muscles. They're too tight. We'd be exhausted by the end of the day. So posture should be relaxed, natural, in a balanced position.
Wonderful. So I understand also you will be demonstrating for us some exercises that can be done in a chair, as well as how to sit properly in a chair.
Yes.
So we'll do that in a moment as
Great.
well. But another activity that posture and balance are very important in is ballroom dancing. And our next guest, Luci DiPolvre, is a seasoned dancer. She and her husband, Ed, who are members of a group called the Saturday Evening Dance Club, are here. Luci is here with us to discuss their participation in that. And I understand, Luci, that you've been dancing as part of that group for about 20 years now. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Wonderful. Can you tell us how you got started in that program?
In that club, I saw a picture of someone I knew dancing, and there was an article in a local paper. And I thought, oh my goodness, the dance club, we'd love to join that. So I called Kathy, and she said, oh, I just joined it, sure. And we got involved for 20 years.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And so could you tell us a little bit about how the dance club works?
We have a membership which is open only to couples. They don't have to be married couples, but it's open only to couples. We have a membership of 65 couples at this point. We pay dues to the club, and for that we get 3 dances a year. And then besides that, we usually put in a couple of dinner dances, which is over and above the dues.
Oh, I see.
And we get quite a few people coming to our dances.
Right. Wonderful. And could you tell me a little bit about your history with dance? Because I understand from speaking with you before that before joining the club, you and your husband did enjoy dancing prior to the club.
Yes, we met at a dance, and we've continued to dance ever since. We've been married for 54 years. So we have been dancing for a long time.
Wow.
And the dance club, we have been members for 20 years. I was the president for 6 years. My husband was the president for 6 years.
Wow.
And now we have another president for 2 years.
Right, right. Can you tell us what style of dance people might expect to see if they were to join your club, and what type of dance steps you do?
Quite a variety, from the simple foxtrot, and then we do all kinds of Latin dances, waltzes, polkas, jitterbug, West Coast swing, hustle, you name it. Our bands will play it, and we do have live music every dance.
Every dance, there's a band that performs, and
yes.
they know ahead of time what style of dance you'll be doing and what songs you'd like to play. Is that?
Yes, they do a variety, and if they haven't done something that some of the dancers like, they go and just ask the band leader, and we usually get what we want.
That's great. That's really great. Can you give me some history of the club itself and how it came into origin?
What we know is that it was started 117 years ago in the Hopewell area, Mercer County. And at the time, people were doing quadrilles and reels and that sort of thing. And they would stretch canvas across the rugs in their homes so that they wouldn't trip on the rugs.
Sure.
And then it evolved from there into various different types of dances.
Sure.
And it's very formal. Our
I
dances are
understand that,
very formal. Almost all the women wear long gowns. The men are expected to wear tuxedos or
Wow.
dark suits with neckties.
Wow. So this is very serious business,
Oh,
this
yes,
dancing.
it is.
Yes. Well, we understand from recent studies that there are many benefits to dancing, including fitness, but also some studies that have recently shown that it reduces the risk of diseases like Alzheimer's and other types of dementia. What do you feel your benefit that you and Ed get from dancing in these programs?
Well, it's a wonderful social activity. And of course, as the brain, we have to remember the steps.
Sure.
And it's good balance. You really need to know what you're doing. As a matter of fact, we actually have people who come to the dances with canes. But when they get up on the dance floor, between the couples, they can manage to maneuver the dance floor. It's amazing. And we do have a range of ages. We have people from their 40s and 50s all the way up to their 80s and 90s.
Wow. That's quite a group you have. I understand that recently you had a dance this past weekend and that we were able to get some footage of some of your participants. We appreciate your willingness to open the group to us and allow us to do that. Can you give our audience any other advice of things that you like to do to stay active, or ways that things that you think are important to staying active?
Well, my husband and I go to the senior centers. We have dance lessons, they have Tai Chi, they have all kinds of things. So we keep our eyes open. Of course, my husband checks the newspapers. If there's going to be any kind of music anywhere, we take off and go dance, whether anybody dances or not.
Well, I think that you are an inspiration to all of us, and I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today and share this wonderful information with us. You can see that some of the things that Luci has told us about dancing really relate to your information about posture. So perhaps you want to share some things with Luci that maybe you got from her interview portion.
Oh, sure. First of all, I just want to commend you. I think that's so fantastic. And you're really an example and a model for everybody to follow, because what you're doing, you're in such good health, you look terrific, you feel good, and it really completely changes the quality of your life. So I think that's so wonderful. So is there anything that you use for posture? I know when I work with dancers, I always tell them to think that their head is attached to a helium balloon so that their spine is lengthening, so they stay in this good posture and graceful throughout the dancing. Is there anything that you use?
Well, we continue to take dancing lessons. Our senior center provides a dance teacher who is wonderful, and she really makes sure that you are standing correctly and that your arms are at the right position and that your head is in the right position. It's really very, very important.
Sure.
Because otherwise you can't do these dances. She'll tell us, if you're leaning forward, you're not going to be able to do this step.
Sure.
So it's really, that's what we do. We continue to take our lessons, which is lots of fun.
Oh, that's great. The other thing is, if you're not using good posture, you're going to be tired, and you can really injure yourself. And so I think that's great, but I want to go. I'm ready to sign up, Luci. It sounds like fun.
I think we all can see
start now, then I'll be like you.
We can all see the multiple benefits to dancing for sure. Are there exercises that you do in between your dances or your classes that you think help keep you in shape for dancing?
Actually, it's more running up and down the steps and doing that kind of thing, but I don't mind walking. I will park far away from the store so that I can walk to the store.
Wow.
And if there are 3 different stores in the area I want to go to, I will walk from one to the other rather than going and moving my car, which is really energy wasting. But I did want to say, we actually have a doctor in our area who recommends ballroom dancing for his patients.
Wonderful.
For their balance and for their health.
It's interesting because I do a lot of work with osteoporosis, and you really do want people doing weight bearing where the weight is going through the bones against gravity. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't like the treadmill, I don't like to walk. I said, what about dancing? Yeah. You know, even just turn the music on and just, doesn't even have, it can be ballroom dancing if they like that, but just dancing, line dancing, just any type of dancing. Turn the music on and start moving, and you'll get the effect on your body. It's very effective for increasing, for improving bone density, and it's a wonder. I mean, dance is fantastic, and it's fun, as you say, it's fun.
Right.
It's something that everybody loves, and especially seniors, too.
Yeah. I think that's a great point, Margie, to really make people understand that exercise and fitness doesn't have to be a burden. It can be something fun that you enjoy to do. If you find something like dancing or another activity that doesn't feel like exercise when you're doing it, that really could help you to stay active and stay in shape.
You know, Melissa, that's such a good point, because no one should be doing an exercise they don't like. There's enough exercises that are fun, that are enjoyable, that are relaxing. You know, to hate what you're doing and feel, oh, I have to do this, then you shouldn't be doing that. There are many other programs that you will find enjoyable.
Right.
So I agree with you on that.
And there are so many different types of dancing. As you mentioned, line dancing, ballroom dancing. You can do dancing as a single. There's country dancing, square dancing, round dancing. There are so many. all kinds of dancing
dances,
that you can get to. And many senior centers offer at least line dancing.
You know, it's interesting what you said, though, about the people that come in with their canes. I'm always amazed. Someone who really has significant restrictions I'll see in physical therapy, and all of a sudden, they're doing some type of dance, and they no longer have the restrictions. It's amazing to me when the music goes on and they're enjoying the dance. Somehow they forget that they have this, and they're just able to really improve and really perform at a different level than you'd expect.
Right.
So I think there's all sorts of benefits.
Right. Certainly highlights the impact of music in our lives. Thank you again both for joining us. As we wrap up now, we're going to have Margie show us some tips for sitting and some easy chair exercises that people can do at home.
Before we start doing any exercises, we want to make sure that we're in a good sitting posture. That's just as important as doing the exercise correctly. So what you want to do when you're sitting is make sure that you're not rounded out, that our back is not rounded out. We all have an inward curve in the back, and we want to make sure that we're maintaining that curve. So one trick which I showed you earlier, but I'll show you again, is if you take a towel, roll it up, you just take this towel and you put it right in that curve in your low back. And then we're sitting straight. It doesn't allow us to round out the low back. And so we're much better alignment, and it's really quite comfortable. They also make professional ones that you can buy in various stores, and always suggest trying it first. Don't just buy one from the catalog. So the towel roll is a very effective tool. If we're not sitting in the back of the chair, it's important, as I mentioned before, to sit on your sit bones, legs not crossed, because that will cause rounding, and that we're sitting in a nice, upright, comfortable position. So the first exercise I wanted you to show you can be done in any position. It can be done sitting, it can also be done standing, and it's for the neck. And what we want to do so often, this is the typical posture where the head is forward. It causes headaches, and it causes a lot of neck pain. So what we want to do to combat that is we just want to take our chin and bring it in. We just want to very gently, we're keeping our eyes vertical, and we just want to bring our chin back. It's also like a chin tuck. To make sure we're doing this properly, take your hand and put it in the curve of your neck. There's an inward curve there. And when you do the exercise properly, you'll feel the curve actually coming into your hand, like this. And we would hold that for 3 seconds. And then when we relax just to neutral. So again, very simple, we just tuck our chin. And throughout this, we want to think of the string attached to a helium balloon, so our spine is lengthening, our shoulders are wide. And this exercise should be done 3 to 5 times a day. The second exercise is for the shoulders. So often, our shoulders are rounded. So to combat that, what we're going to do, we're going to sit in a relaxed position, absolutely no hunching with the neck. We want the neck and shoulders relaxed. And we're just going to squeeze our shoulder blades together while the arms go back and down. So we squeeze the shoulder blades, and we hold that for 3 seconds. And then we return to neutral. So very gentle, this shouldn't hurt anyone. It should actually feel good. And we would just bring the shoulders back, and again, we could hold this for 3 seconds, and then we'll just bring it back to the neutral position. And these exercises are very easy. They remind the body of the good posture. Because so oftentimes we're too busy in our life to think, oh my, where is my neck or where are my shoulders? But if we do these exercises throughout the day, we're constantly giving reminders of, oh yes, the shoulders should be back, oh, the chin should be in. So it really works. Try them out. You'd be surprised. I know at the end of the Move Today and Project Healthy Bones classes, I cannot get over the change in posture from doing these simple exercises.
We want to remind you to find out about senior services in your area or about the Healthy Bones and Move Today programs, please contact your County Office on Aging or the Aging and Disability Resources Connection. You will see a listing of their numbers on our website, or you may call the state hotline number 1-877-222-3737. You can also go to the Department of Health and Senior Services website to look at chapters of the book Get Fit, which looks at fitness programs across the ages. Chapter 16, Senior Fitness, discusses older adult issues related to exercise, and Chapter 17, Managing Osteoporosis and Arthritis, looks at exercises related to those conditions. Go to the website shown in the end credits. There are even chapters in Get Fit that address finding a personal trainer and how to check out a local gym. We appreciate you joining us for this edition of Aging Insights. We are pleased to have the sponsorship of the Silver Century Foundation, which advocates planning for the second half of life and inspires everyone to live long, healthy, and empowered lives. Until next time, take care, and remember, aging is everyone's business.